Hi there, Dr. Gary here on the road. We sell dental practices nationwide. And I was a dentist for 25 years, and now I'm doing the dental practice brokerage for 14. Today's topic is qualified dental attorney makes an error at the closing. Let's talk about that. We'll go over what happened. Anyway, as you know, we have been doing the dental practice brokerage now for 14 years. We have 22 states we're selling in. Just opened up, I think it's Alabama and Louisiana. We're doing well in Ohio, a lot of action in Ohio. So we are available to you 363 days a year. We take off Christmas and Easter. So please call us. We're available 8 a.m. till 9 p.m. 201-663-0935. Excuse the glasses. It is sunny in New Jersey. Whoa, I'm at the beach. It's beautiful. So our website is dentalpracticeguide.com or nationwidedentalpracticebrokers.com. Call us. Love to talk to you. Even if you just want to chat, there's no charge. Or get the fee on something, there'll be no charge for that either. Just give us a ring and we'll get on it for you. Now, the information you're about to hear is for entertainment purposes only. It's not legal advice. If you're thinking about selling to a large DSO, call us because we work with them all the time. And we know who the best ones are. We're independent of them, but they often pay our commission. So you as the seller of a DSO, usually there's no commission. So give us a ring on that. And we're your middleman type of guy because we manage all the information for you. We are 2 CPA accounts. We'll be there to help establish what your net profit is. We'll get on that for you. Okay? And they pay our commission, so you have another person watching your back. And we're one of the few brokers that have a CPA accountants and a dentist on their team. So just call us. Now, when you work with us, also we get any practice selling over $1 million or more, any practice, whether it's DSO or not, we will reimburse your legal fees based on certain criteria at successful closing. So give us a call and we can get you more information on just how that works. All right. We've done that several times. All right. What error did this qualified attorney make? I mind you, this is a small deal, just like $100,000, $200,000, a small deal. And the attorney I've known for a while is a good guy, qualified, knowledgeable, experienced, but still made an error. You don't let these errors happen. You got to be careful. All right, so let's tell you what happened here. The buyer is paying all cash, small deal. Buyer is paying all cash, so the buyer is not utilizing a bank. So no money is coming from the bank for distribution, okay? The buyer is bringing checks to closing. Generally, we do checks virtually. There is no official sit-down closing. But this is circumstances. The buyer was meeting the seller, going to the attorney's office, and bringing a verified bank funds check, okay? Now, the vendors also, there's a couple vendors like 5,000, 8,000, 7,000, something around there. The vendors had to be paid off also at closing. But the vendors weren't going to go to this small closing for that small amount of money for a sit-down closing. They said, look, just take care of us at closing. What should have happened is the attorney should have collected all funds from the buyer from the buyer a couple days prior to closing. The attorney should have had those funds in their trust account. The attorney should have distributed the funds via electronic wire. That's how that should have occurred. But what happened on this deal, again, good attorneys, a good guy, I've known him, but slipped up a little bit. The buyer goes to the attorney's office with the large certified funds, verified bank funds check, so that the attorney can then hand that over, because this was not a this was an actual sit-down closing. So the attorney could hand it over to the seller. And then the buyer was instructed, okay, you have to get the monies to all the vendors. The buyer says, okay, I'll wire it. But the buyer didn't wire the money on the day of closing. The buyer was supposed to wire the money the next day. Well, what happens if that buyer was in an auto accident? The vendors, how the vendors going to get paid? Because now you're going into probate. This would have been a problem. This would have been a problem. Everybody's fighting over money because you got probate. It's going to be months if that happened. It would have been months. The proper thing to have become, the proper procedure, the monies from the buyer, which is cash, should have gone over to the attorney, her attorney, or his attorney, a couple days so it cleared, or the buyer could wire the money into the attorney's account. The attorney should have distributed that money same day. It should never come from the buyer. Once again, the buyer had the closing. The buyer gave the certified funds to the seller, but the buyer was then responsible to wire all the money to the vendors. Small money, $7,000, $8,000, $5,000. It wasn't a lot of money, but that was the buyer's responsibility. The next day, the buyer had trouble with their bank wiring the money. Malfunction. Again, honest buyer. It's an honest buyer. And you can let it go. But you've got to understand the problems that could have occurred. Had the buyer got in an auto accident and perished, how are they going to get paid? You're going to call the buyer's spouse to say, pay me now? You owe me this money? And they're going through all that trauma? This would have been a challenge. Now, it's the next day, and the buyer is trying to wire the funds to the different vendors and having some trouble at their bank because they have limitations on how much they could wire per day. So you see the issues that can occur here. Problem is, you don't have the money in your account as a vendor, and you're waiting and waiting. That's not fair to the vendor. Yeah, it's $5,000, $7,000, $10,000, but it's not fair to the vendor to do that. Okay? Just at a pause here in a parking lot. Can anybody explain to me why guys with pickups got to back into spaces they don't pull straight in? Why is that? I always wondered. Why do guys with pickups always back into the spot? Maybe I'm missing something. I don't know. Write me an email on that. So now we got a situation, once again, vendors are not paid yet. Buyer's having trouble wiring. Buyer has limitations on the bank. Attorney should have never let this happen. Period. Never let it happen. Should have been on top of this. Is a qualified attorney, great guy, knows what they're doing, but they slipped up. You got to monitor everything. No deal is over until that money hits your account. Just remember that. And you've got to watch. Even the best attorneys, you got to monitor them. So that's what's going on. All right. Keep you posted. We have plenty of new videos coming out. Let us know what you're interested in. We'll make it happen for you. Okay, if there's certain subjects that we didn't cover. We have over 500. I think I covered almost everything, but there's no end to these stories. It keeps happening. So, but if there is a topic that you really want to hear about, let me know. We'll do something about it. I will do a video on it. We have over 500, so hit the subscribe button. Hey, remember about that cruise we're going in January 2025. I think we're leaving on the 5th. Get on that cruise. I mean, we got accountants, attorneys, bankers, CPAs coming. This is going to be great. Don't miss that thing. I'll see you. Bye. Call me. We'll let you know about it.